Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Laura Neidigh. Lauren is not trying to brush the wig. I do not brush the wig. Okay, that's not a thing. And also, I it's like underneath some stuff right now, so I'm not going to pull it out. So Omar was driving, I guess, so he's not with us right now. Hopefully, he will be later, but we'll see. We also have Schnitzel Ninja coming in a little bit. Did you send her the link, Rob?
Yes, I did. She was on her phone only. She didn't have her computer, so whatever.
Well, she never shows her face anyway. So
that's right. What's the difference?
Yeah. So we're gonna look at a couple of things. Rob, you went to get these today. What happened?
Yes, this morning, Schnitzel contacted me and said, "Hey, you know what? There's 3 new documents." Yeah. So I what I did is last year, I got the copy of the form, scanned it, so I typed everything in. So it's nice and quick. You go right to the thing, get your ticket, and you wait for your call. You get the documents. Then I went later in the day. Haley, she texted me and said, "There's another one that's out." So I contacted Schnitzel, and she said, "Hey, there's a 4th one." I said, "Okay." So I jetted down there, opposite traffic, which is nice. Same thing. Typed up the name of the document, ran down to the courthouse, grabbed my number. Only waited like 10 minutes because it's busy as hell on a Friday afternoon. Sure. But got a copy of it and drove home, scanned it, and sent it to Schnitzel so she could put it out there. So those 4 documents all came out today, 3 early, and then more later in the day. Don't know anything after 3 o'clock today.
I have them on. I'm gonna pull them up on the. Actually, I saw them on the Reddit too. So I try to go. Look at everywhere. So we'll do this.
Yeah,
what am I gonna say?
The acronyms are funny. ALG for allegations, NOT for notice, AOM for allegation of multiple offenses, and DAR for notice of disclosure. So I'm like, okay, cool. I have acronyms. I can work with those. So I can't remember all the titles.
Oh my gosh.
This is one Florida. Of these we just 4 stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, is one of these 4 the updated version of the witness list, evidence disclosure document? Okay. All right. Sure. Very good.
It's got the whole list too, or the list on there, the witnesses. So you'll find that interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just make sure I pull everything up. Yeah, this is Florida. We put our crazy online, so we don't have to go anywhere. I think it's because they don't want us to go outside. Basically. Then there's just more of us on the streets.
Yeah.
So this was from yesterday. That was the notice of disclosure. We already did that, didn't we?
I think there's an updated version of it, though.
That must be it, then, yeah. Because it can't. Because they posted this today. Okay. Are we looking at this request for evidence? Is that it? The other one, too. And there's the aggravating circumstances. Okay, I think I have everything.
Circumstances, that's the LG allegation.
Wow.
Omar says he's coming.
And Schnitzel said 5 minutes. Schnitzel.
What is a schnitzel?
Schnitzel is like a small schnitzel.
I have never heard that word in my life.
A min-schnitz.
A what?
When you breed them tiny.
Yeah, right. It's a baby.
Or maybe
schnitzel.
A tiny cut of meat. Like sometimes you can get a half a sandwich in soup instead of a whole sandwich.
I never eat half a sandwich, Bruce.
Oh,
I mean, well, you can order it.
Give me $4. Come on now.
Oh, hey, Brad. Brad, are you coming? What's going on? Having the babies if MCAO doesn't tell us who the accomplice is. I feel like it's fairly obvious, but that's just me. I don't think they're going to.
A lot of babies.
Man, it could be. Yeah.
I think when you're a cat lady ballerina, then they're kittens. It's not babies, but
they're babies. Okay.
Maybe that's splitting here. Baby kittens.
Let her have this one. Yeah.
What?
The dribble extra.
What?
Excess dribble.
Basketball playing.
You lost me there, Rob.
Baby kittens.
Yeah, I was tying it in, trying to.
I need a consult with Dr. Medchill for this development.
Do you want to die? Yeah. Then get your advice from Dr. Medchill.
It's all I can afford. Insurance doesn't cover anything else.
Oh my God, that's so true.
And he's the man for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the disclosures from yesterday. You said this is an updated version. What are we looking for? The witness list, you said?
Yeah, that's what I found most interesting in the document.
I think there's just a lot less. There's a lot less. What do you call it?
Redactions?
Redacted. Like, for example, we were speculating, oh, is this Julie at the top of the list? Julie Mata, Judge Julie, but they're alphabetized, so it's not.
Yeah.
The other thing is we were questioning whether they misspelled David Gingras' name, but I don't think so, because they left the name and there's an address at this. You almost had it. It's down below.
That would just be too weird to me.
What is this? Air Force Base?
Is it in Chandler? What? That's weird as fuck.
WAFB, Rob. That's some sort of Air Force Base.
We have Luke Air Force Base.
Wasn't Tag? Tag was a military medic or something. I hope that's not Tag.
She could have ran the whole place down there. The base is pretty
rich. Is Tag or something? Very strange.
Cat Lady Thinker the 5. It really freaks my significant other out when I start threats with having the babies if. Well,
I mean,
it seems to be effective for some reason.
I think that's the point of the whole clause in that sentence. Yeah.
And they won't come to fruition anyway, so no worries,
Williams Air Force Base. It's no longer used. It houses ASU Polytech Institute and Community College. Interesting. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. We have a Luke Air Force Base southwest. That's open.
Okay. So if maybe it's a student who has a job at one of these places where they have a subpoena or something like that. We could speculate all day. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. One sec.
Was there anything else really exciting in this list? I'm not really sure that I wanted to point out. I think those were the two.
Were full addresses in the previous one?
A lot of them were redacted out. There were two. If you can check, there were some. What are they? The record executive.
What are we looking for?
If you scroll down, the people who are in charge of corporate records. I can't remember the title. Do they have that? It's near the end, I think. Custodian of records. Okay, so they have a name, but we don't have a business or an address. So this one at the bottom of 7, this was redacted previously. Somebody probably has looked it up and knows where they work, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that'll be interesting. It's probably another one of these healthcare places, I would imagine.
Yeah, because isn't that the clerk's office for the Superior Court? It would be called that, right? The records department.
Yeah, so if you have a company like Verizon or some AT&T, and you want to get the cell phone information, you have to get the custodian of records from Verizon to come to court.
Okay.
And give the cell phone information, right? That's my understanding of how that works.
Okay.
That's why, for example, the custodian up above is from Banner Health. So if they need records from Banner Health, authenticated records, that they would come through the custodian of records.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I was in the middle of a goose chase. It reached a dead end.
Sure.
All right. Anyways.
Any witnesses surprise you, Lauren?
Nah, not really.
No.
I mean, maybe. I just can't remember because we went over this last night and I was like dead.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Who's Madeline Sobek?
Other than that, I don't think it's too. Oh, that's interesting. Where have we seen that name before?
No fucking clue.
That's ringing a bell.
The Sobek, yeah. Something about it because it just rings funny. Something.
All right. Who is Laura's HCG hype girl? That's all I hear for. That's a terrible title to have.
Okay, Cat Lady Ballerina Knows All says Madeline is attorney for One Medical. Very good.
She actually does. She has like a whole fucking Excel sheet. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So all these police officers are part of them, or the wellness check officers and officers that she called in, right? The 911 calls, things like that.
Yeah, we were trying to.
It could be anybody.
There were some of them that
for the police calls. That's true.
Yeah.
Some of the cops were from 911 calls, and some of them were from the raid, and then some of them were for both.
Oh, the raid, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if any of these were from the wellness checks.
No, because 911. I said 911 call on the spreadsheet, so Catley don't have to tell us if those were they from when Laura called or when someone called on Laura. You know, so I don't know. Let's just see.
Yeah, I don't think a wellness check would have been through the.
Go to the spreadsheet. That's exactly what it's about. I know what your spreadsheet's about, bro.
Also, I don't know.
I know, but I'm more specifically what there was a column for that. My bad, dude. Hang on.
Oh, we've got columns.
All right, let me go. I'm going to Discord.
Bruce got all excited for a moment there.
That is
formulas.
Yep.
I have no words. Absolutely.
You do. Equal sum, open paren.
No, stop it. Put your penis away, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Basketball player equals man equals dribble.
Right. If pregnant, then fake baby.
Yeah.
I like it better when I'm being the perverted one. Okay.
What do we got?
So, let me move
I'm okay with that too.
Pivot tables. Pivot.
Pivot.
Right.
Called about. Oh, okay.
Long cactus.
Oh, wow.
Greg.
Oh my
Reddit.
gosh.
Reddit. So this is when she. So the caller is here. Oh yes. Okay. Anon. So that's.
Called.
I'm guessing
Anon's.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be a wellness check one then.
So there'd be that one, and that one. Yes. Yeah. Those three.
I suppose so. So they've got one of
those. That'd be anonymous, right?
That's yellow, right? Yeah. Yellow's in our list.
Yellow's in the list. Okay.
And
so
then
these are something else.
She called about Clayton
she called
on this other one. That's the one at the end. I'm just looking at the two because those are the ones we know are in our list. And then the raid tab will have the other yellow names.
All this talk is so yummy for Lauren. You know, I hate that word. Ugh.
Wait, yellow means on the witness list and responded to 911 call. Okay. So are there people on this tab that are on the witness list but didn't respond to a 911 call?
Yeah, just for the raid. If they were just there for the raid, I guess.
Where's that? Oh, that'd be on the raid tab. We gotta go to the next page. Okay, that's these folks. Okay, very good. And then two of these folks were also responding to 911 calls, which are 11/7 and 4/21. Okay, these are very far apart in time.
11/7 would have been the
23.
Yeah, that would have been. What would that have been?
That's the row you're on. 19.
Oh yeah, but I mean, which time was that? And somebody called, and that's the one they were saying Greg, I guess, or somebody was like trolling her. I don't know. That's what Jan was saying. I don't know if it's the one they checked on her or not. I guess the one they did check on her was the FBI call.
11/7 is a check.
Right, but did they actually? Because there was one where they did not actually check on her. Jan just came outside and they bought her bullshit, and then they left without doing their jobs.
So they got the candy bars. So, remember that. But yeah, they didn't actually see her. That was a big stink on my end too. I'm like, did you even touch her, see her, make sure she's okay? So that was a weird one. But the next time they did physically see her because she had the I Dream of Jeannie hair, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still, Jan did all the talking in both of them.
Cyber crimes.
But these documents are from the first party, which is the state of Arizona, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the state of Arizona is having all this list, all these witnesses. They're the ones saying we're going to, have all these people presented. Do we see? Well, I guess we'll ask Omar, right? But will we see something like this from the defendant's side? We'll say.
Oh yeah,
right.
There has to be discovery in both directions, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Brad, real quick.
That's if they're going to put on a defense, right? Because they could just cross-examine all of the state's witnesses in the state's case and not really put on a defense and because the burden of proof, of course, is on the state.
Gotcha.
So they could just say, we're not calling any witnesses. We're just going to rest the case without doing anything, without putting anybody on the stand, any witnesses or herself.
Which we've all said. Right. It's legal and you're right. Exactly. But we've all said, stop talking. You're just hurting yourself when you open your mouth. So maybe that is a good plan, right? Strategy-wise.
Maybe.
Hey, Brad.
I think negotiating the best plea deal they can negotiate is the plan. Yeah.
There's parts of that I don't think she'll ever agree to, though. There's certain things need to be included. It'll be quite interesting if they even get that.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged on X and on JFC's post, and I said my hot take is that they're going to try and flip Jan and give her an
Good luck with
deal.
that, bro.
Nice.
Because that's the thing is they said in the document today that there's an accomplice, and reasonably from all of the sleuthing that the community has done, Jan is the accomplice. There's almost no chance in hell that it's anyone else. But
well, Jan obviously helped her make a lot of those false statements or false reports, the police, or like just frivolous reports. I don't know. And she also, obviously, her parents knew that was the sister's picture with the baby bump and the sister's ultrasound. Like, there's no way they didn't know. So it would have to be, right? It only makes sense to me.
I'm perfectly open to being wrong, by the way. It's just that looking at this case, she is so integrated with her mother that it's almost hard to believe that she would have somebody else so tied to her in this case.
She barely talks to anyone else.
Yeah, that's my point, is that there's no one else that comes up that'd be like, oh, this is the person that I hang out with on a daily basis and I talk about everything with.
Right. Mm-hmm. Same home, probably same business, right? So there's a lot of connectivity between the two of them. So it makes kind of sense that, well, let me create a few of these. Let me do this, that kind of thing. It makes you just stop and think. I don't want to include her father, although he may know a lot of this, but they're not going to, because of his health situation. I don't think anybody's going to go there.
I have no idea if they would or not.
You know?
Yeah.
Christian
it got dark in here. Go ahead.
Christian Bell says in the chat, could Gingras be an accomplice? So lawyers and clients have privilege. However, that privilege can be broken when it's done in the commission of crime.
Crime fraud exception or something?
The crime fraud exception.
Yeah.
But Gingras came in so late that a lot of the early stuff wouldn't apply to him.
Sure.
But in the stuff on June 10th, they may be able to break it if they can show
and going forward.
Yeah.
Does it matter if he knew after the fact some of that stuff at all and then still decided to appeal?
So that's where it's going to get tricky. And I wish Omar was here to talk about this, because
he'll be here soon, I guess.
You had an entire community of people trying to yell through their computer and phone screens about all of these things that she could be lying about. And then this guy is saying, oh, well, if she lied to me, I would drop her immediately. And come to find out, wow, there's no way that Rachel Mitchell would file criminal charges against her. I've been in this field for 20 years, and nobody has ever gotten charged for perjury. And, oh, would you look at that? She got charged for perjury. Well, F me.
Right. Well, he made his name on Dr. Phil. Now he's going to make his name a different way, right?
Literally everything that guy ever says is wrong. Like it's. I don't think he's been right about anything, actually.
I don't see how he can be an accomplice to crime, because he's not good enough to commit crime. He can't even get a motion to compel lunch.
Well, that's not totally true, is it?
Because he can't even
a criminal.
do lunch, how is he going to do crime? I mean,
he did the DUI and then he did the minor, so it's not like he doesn't know how to do crime, you know. So
he just does interpret the law the way he wants, you know. So that could be in a positive form. He just blows my mind, because like her, anything comes out of his mouth, you just question it, or your head turns backwards, right?
Trying to help him out a little bit, but I don't know.
It's nice of you.
Bruce. I tried to do that, and look what happened to me. I almost got sued.
Exactly.
I know, it's trouble.
They give you that false sense of security.
I didn't want to make fun of him for his cat, and then he didn't care about that. So I try to be nice to him.
Yeah, the only thing nice about Gingras is his cat. Everyone loves Aurora, but
Lauren, you've buckled a few times. Like, okay, I'm going to give him a shot. I'm going to try.
That's because I am. That's how I am with everybody. You have to really, really, really fuck up for me to never just be like, I'm never giving you the time of day again. So.
Right, but every time you tried, he would do something else, and it's like, how many times has to happen? You know? And he does it to himself. It's not like anybody else is.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with her too. It's mind-boggling, even to see her that day on June 10th, the whole crying thing, and then buckling in the standing up and turning around. What are you, a ballerina?
Yeah,
Right?
kind of.
That was like both trials. They had to show it. Beauty included. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that was a cute moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
I was sitting there like I've obviously never been in court for a trial like that before, and I was just like, is this actually just happening right now? Or we're like doing a little okay, all right. It's not as if you can't look at her and tell she's much skinnier than she was in that picture where she was like super bloated, but I can also tell you pretty quickly how to get a bloated stomach like that. So it's not, it's not
right. Unless we're all black, make sure that shows nothing, right?
Yeah,
that's a good idea. That's probably the only good advice he probably gave her. Make sure you wear black tomorrow. That's worth the money in gold.
I just figured it was to mourn her freedom, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's all that could fit her.
Somebody's Discord is going off, man.
Yeah.
I might want to check your messages. It's not me. My Discord message was
muted
with the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
My phone's off. It could be I gotta quit my Discord. It could be mine.
Let's say, how many people are you talking to right now? Because, geez.
Well, after picking up those documents, and then Sweet Schnitzel put my name out there, I'm getting a lot of thank yous. So
right. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, but it is when you're online. So the witness list is pretty good, right? Someone texted me earlier or messaged me earlier about Dave being on it, and it was like, yeah, he gets his day in court too. I mean, look what you put him through. I can't wait to have him have a chance to speak his mind and what he went through. He's another victim, just like the rest of them, just in a different way, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And
what is going on in the chat? There's like a mutiny in the chat. What did I do? Somebody's like, Lauren must have changed the setting. What did I do? God. What? Calm down. What happened?
I think it's showing everybody's base YouTube tags instead of the display names.
Fault, yeah?
Oh yeah.
What did I do? I don't think I did anything.
Somebody posted in on Twitter saying that there's a revolt going on in their chat because nobody's screen name is showing properly.
Now I know who all of you are. This is terrible.
Well, I mean, I think you can always right-click on display names and see the actual YouTube tag, right?
Thanks. I'm going to be a lot creepier now.
There you go.
Well, I mean...
Well, we had Schnitzel Ninja and then we lost her, so thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I can only assume she saw this was the sausage fest and was like, well, I'm out.
The account name is always the account. I mean, it's always there. It's just usually covered by a display name or nickname or whatever it's supposed to be.
But that's not Lauren, right? That's a YouTube thing.
That's a YouTube
it's always
thing.
me. It's always my fault.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's happening. It's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, just so you know, none of us will fall asleep on your stream, okay? Like,
I mean, you could try, but I'll probably start screaming swear words.
Or Neidigh crashed out.
That would really be a nightmare for you, so I wouldn't recommend it.
My ear blooms.
No, I would love the opportunity to troll some of you guys, but maybe don't do that. I get it though. Omar has a very soothing voice. I would fall asleep too if I was listening to him for that long, which is why I left.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah,
anytime, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Schnitzel Ninja, are you there?
I think so.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah. Well, we waited for you, and so we haven't done anything this entire time.
How dare you?
That's why this has been non-productive.
Oh man, I haven't even really looked at these filings yet.
Oh yeah. Well, this one was from yesterday. This is like an updated version from yesterday, I guess. So we don't have too much to. I don't know if there's anything else we're willing to look at here. We can probably move on.
Yeah.
Spruce, you saw anything?
I didn't see anything else that we should mention. I think we hit the highlights.
All right, let's go to this then. This is from today. Can you guys see that? Okay, let me.
Zoom in more.
Yeah, I got it.
Multiple offenses not committed on the same occasion.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like skimmed over this and I was like, I had so many other things going on in my brain. I was like, I don't know what this means, and so I just gave up on it.
So when you think about traditional crime, like a murder, you're going to charge someone with multiple offenses, but they all relate to the same basic thing that happened over a smaller period of time. With this, what they're basically doing is they're charging her with a voluminous number of crimes, and they're consolidating it into a singular trial for expediency and because they all relate, they have similar fact patterns. They're going to call a bunch of witnesses that can testify to larger pieces of it. So that's what this one is saying.
So I think she's done this more than once.
Brad, is that like if I drive my car into somebody, they pass, and I was drinking? So you charge for the murder, but a DUI also. Do you see?
Why don't you try and find out, buddy?
No, that's the typical course, is that you're getting charged for multiple things within the same outcome.
Okay.
But because you have the larger indictment, which is the act or the I don't want to call it a conspiracy, but that's kind of what it is. The fraud and artifices charge, which spans from May 17th, which is when she initially started messaging Clayton, all the way until the trial. And then we have these individual counts of perjury along the way.
Yeah.
Where they would, in a traditional setting, they would be charged under their own separate indictment. And they're saying, well, we're not going to do individual trials for 6 different actions. We're just going to consolidate them all into one.
Yes.
Which is how they come up with 7.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing that I can't remember if it's this document or the actual indictment, they said more charges can be appended as necessary if they believe they have the fact patterns to support it.
Right. Which I'm sure they will.
They left it open. She'll open her mouth and she will.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft Excel supports more than 64,000 rows, so we could just keep appending, guys, forever.
So is Excel a database or no?
I use numbers in Mac, so I'm with you, Bruce. Numbers is the same logic.
Oh boy. Well, what can we do? Wait, where'd Lauren go?
What's happening? Lauren?
Dude, I forgot to mute myself. Shit, there's like chaos going on over here. I'll be right back.
What is happening? Are you rearranging your shelves?
Camera hit her in the head. Who knows?
Oh, she's got that wig brush. That's her new ad deal. She's going to sell wig brushes and wig
I'd
brush
rather have that than the other offer she got.
What? Well, they could be similar, depending upon if you put a battery in it or not.
That's true.
We don't know.
Oh no.
I feel bad if that's the only thing she got.
But we can't scroll down. Or is there a lot of good stuff in here, Brad? Or is that the main thing? They're just documenting the consolidation here.
They're in order to be compliant with ARS 13703 or 13704, they have to make this claim, and that's what this is.
Okay.
And this is
get it on the record.
So it's not much, Bruce. There's not much after that.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah. These are the ones you read, not the 400-page one. Like
the next document is the good one, in my opinion.
Okay.
Notice of disclosure or no? The 512, 15.2.
It's either
that's
that
request
one,
for physical evidence, and request for leave of court to take physical evidence. No.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but the one talking about the fingerprints, it was one little word that pissed me off when I read it, because when I was there at the pretrial, the prosecutor said, "Oh yeah, she already gave her fingerprints. It's only not a subpoena. It was something else, summons."
Yeah,
because the state said, we want to have her in pre-trial services. And the judge Garfinkel said, well, it's only a summons. It's not anything more than that. So then the prosecutor said, oh no, she's already given her fingerprints. Is that? But in the document here, it says We want it all done here in the court, in front of the judge, in front of the state, in front of the prosecutor, so we get everything done. And
Really?
if you write it, you'll see what I mean if we get to that. But she supposedly did 1, 2, and 3 before even the pretrial. That hence why she was probably on Zoom, because if she had to have her fingerprints done there, she would have been there.
Well, that was I thought the way that I read the document was that she hadn't submitted fingerprints, which is why they're requesting it.
Well, according to the pretrial, and the judge looked, she was flipping her papers, and the prosecuting attorney said, yeah, she needs to do these things, and she already did prior to. So she already gave her, and the judge said, yeah, see, you did your fingerprints, release on your own recognizance, no bond, can't leave the state. You know, she went through all of the criteria. So I took that as, okay, then she really didn't need to show up. I guess Zoom by voice is okay. But when I read this, it kind of implied to me we want it done here, because then we know we get it done. We all see it. We got it confirmed, right? And there was one word in there. It didn't say like mandatory, right? It wasn't like the word mandatory. So to have it done prior, I guess it allowed for that. And I just can't find it really quickly. And I can't remember which one it was. Because I did the same thing. I skimmed and drove. Today was a driving day. But it's in here, probably the bigger one with my luck, right? Because that was one thing I thought was important was, well, you know, everybody else is there, you know, chained, handcuffed, orange outfits, you know, that kind of thing, going through their pretrial, guilty, not guilty, whatever. So I just found it very odd. And when I talked with the Channel 12 News afterwards, I followed them out because that was the only thing we were there for. We weren't there for the whole thing. And excuse me, we were talking not in detail about anything because obviously news reporters are kind of like judges, right? They can't take a side. But I told them I'd find it quite interesting that she didn't show up in person, and I don't know the reason why. They didn't explain it. They didn't know, you know, was it a death threats? Was it Facebook threats? Something behind the scenes that would allowed that? I don't understand, because she did not have a defense attorney up until that moment. And then at that moment, she said that she got private attorney.
Hello, this is Robin from Facebook Messenger. I'm here to threaten you.
Oh boy.
Spooky.
Sorry, I was in a fist fight with my lighting. I don't know what happened there.
What is going on, Lauren?
I really don't want to
You
talk
need to
about
page down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hang on.
Yeah.
Well, there's the rest of it.
That's about it. Yeah.
I mean, we need the next document, I think.
You said the next page, sir. You're asking for too much.
Well, you know.
All right. This one is a request for physical evidence.
Yeah.
And request for leave. What is it? Okay, so what is this about?
See,
Anybody
Laura takes her dating contracts from 2 weeks down to 1 week. I just keep adding to mine. I go the other direction.
Did she actually bring it down all the way to 1 week? That's pretty reasonable. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because one of the typos was 1 week's. So it was probably more than one previously. So that was
I figure she meant to up it to a year or so.
1 week's.
1 week's, yeah.
So I think the difference is when you do fingerprinting for entrance into the judicial system, it's not the same as doing fingerprints for evidence. And I think that's the concern here, is that the state is asking for a proper fingerprint to compare against evidence.
Oh.
The others are just for entrance into the jail criminal justice system in general.
Because I have mine for the
fingerprint database.
Yeah.
As a caregiver,
yeah,
I
and
yep. Sorry.
My understanding from that's okay. From with the sheriff is that they exist. Fingerprints exist on their end. Yeah.
Meaning.
Well, yeah. That's what this says is.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm just saying. Like more to support what you're saying.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. So it says 15.2a of Arizona Criminal Procedure requires that the prosecutor or defendant shall submit taking physical evidence in connection with a particular crime the defendant is charged. And if you scroll down.
But do you see how it says taking physical evidence at the next court setting, to wit, fingerprints unless waived, and she didn't do it at the court. It was done prior.
Right.
Right.
But this is saying that for the expedience of proceedings, we want this done at the next proceeding when everyone's going to be there.
Okay.
And she can waive attorneys being present, but they're going to be taken.
Okay.
But attorneys will generally want to be there because they want to ensure that process is being done. Because if there's one thing that attorneys are really good at, it's finding flaws in process and then getting that used to remove evidence.
Expired radar detectors, right?
Well, maybe she could just, trace her fingers in crayon and send that in.
Okay.
So Chief, hang on. Thank you for the 5. The guy that Ella was seeing when she was also with Clayton should be on the witness list. They are likely either the college guy or the redacted name. I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. I think I know what you're referring to. I don't know who that is at the moment, but hopefully she was not dating some guy named David Gingrich. I don't know what to say to that. Go ahead.
That would be very odd. That would be very odd.
One of the best typos.
Oh my Lord.
Now, here's my question, guys. Out of all the evidence, what are they fingerprinting and matching?
That was what I was trying to speculate with someone earlier, was that whether it's they got syringes at the raid that they want to get her fingerprints on to be like, okay, you have to claim custodial possession of this now. You can't just say, well, someone left it here because your fingerprints are on it.
Well, maybe she had hand job babies with someone and they need to.
Maybe they're looking for other juices. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, don't agree with me.
Fingerprints
That makes it worse.
DNA.
Don't you do all of these?
Do not encourage me. Oh, my God.
But do
That's
they
not
the
my
voting
HCG
finger?
officer.
Right?
Oh, Omar says, let me in, damn it.
Hello.
He's right. I let him in twice. He dropped out.
Omar, are you muted?
Yeah, he's got to figure out his sound settings.
Well, he's muted, so obviously he's saying something really important right now.
Obviously, yeah. He's really adding his 2 cents, and we're not hearing any of it.
Omar, we can't hear you.
I'm here, I think. I'm not exactly muted.
There we go.
Well, now you're not.
Yeah.
I was thinking they were going to have to fingerprint like a baby bump or something, but HCG injectables is a way better idea, Brad.
Yeah.
No, I like the baby bump idea.
They test them all throughout the state.
Just make sure it's
Well,
not
there's probably
Sarah's.
4 or 5 of them, right? Because she
That's
progressed.
not mine. Ma'am, it's in your pants. Those aren't my pants.
Ma'am, you're a size 0 and the only one in this block in a size 0. So
time to dust for Prince.
If the JFC crew picks on me one more time, take it easy, lady.
The hell is that?
That was in the court case. Under oath.
Omar, did you do a show with Leanne and Anita, and were you on mute for 3 minutes at the beginning?
Yes, I was.
Accurate. Yeah, that's true.
That's exactly what happened.
Best 3 minutes of the stream.
When did you do that? I missed that.
That was literally earlier today. I went on a whole monologue and then realized I was on mute.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
I was busy with work shit today, so I didn't really do anything until tonight. But so I guess I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch it, or I'll listen to it tomorrow because I have 6 hours to drive.
Well, it'll be good listening.
You sleep. Don't do it.
Well, the first 3 minutes won't be good listening because there's going to be nothing there.
Well, I did the last part of it is pretty good. I did a whole thing on Cassidy's breakdown of 47-1. She's going to be mad at me.
Oh, no. I mean, you guys are both, you're like good people and you just have a different opinion on this. She's not going to be mad at you.
Well,
unless you called her some of the stuff you called me, then
no. I just told her that. I basically said, hey, that was a really good effort, but it's wrong because of these things. And I hate to be the one to,
It's the way you say it, Omar. That's what I mean.
It's like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but
you're pretty delicate with everything and respectful with most people. We're not including ourselves here.
It's not Cassie
or Brad. No, or Brad. Don't talk to people like you talk to Brad. Don't talk to people like you talk to me, and you'll be fine.
See, but the thing is, like, if I really like you, I'm going to make fun of you a little bit. And so the more I make fun of you, the more that I like you. That's the measure.
There you go.
You're getting a
You
little
never
desperate
make fun of me.
All right.
Do you really
I
think
totally
Anita
do.
was offended by Omar? I don't think Anita was offended by you or upset with you.
No. But somebody in the comments said they thought I was condescending. So it's like, I was condescending? What did I do?
No, dude. People just don't like when you have something that doesn't really back up their opinion. So people will get really sensitive, really sensitive, especially with that case. And I've seen it a lot. So, like people just like trying to think like objective, giving objective legal opinions or like reasoned legal opinions. And somebody will be like, you're condescending. I'm like, no, that's absolutely not condescending. It's literally, they're just giving their opinion on the law, which is their area of expertise, not ours. So.
Try to preface it with, I was like so impressed with how Cassidy broke down that whole legal argument. And like, I felt like I was in 1L civil procedure class. She did such a good job and she has such a great premise, but there's just one thing that she missed, and
well, I'll have to listen to it tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm going to listen to it tomorrow, and then I'm going to have you guys both on to argue with each other. It's going to be great.
That'd be great. But it shouldn't be all like, doom and gloom, because there's like some real room. Yeah. I was trying to point out there's some real room for Baldoni to score points. He's just going to have to do it at trial. I was trying to leave it on a positive note, but I was like distracted because Anita was seething. So much in the background.
Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, so what were we doing here before Omar came in and distracted all of us?
It's time for the next document.
We were talking about fingerprints, but one of the things that we had brought up that we needed Omar for was the fraud and crime exception for breaking privilege.
Okay. And the combination stuff, right?
Yeah, so they put in a motion to comply with Arizona criminal procedure about charging multiple offenses for crimes that didn't occur at the same time, and how for trial expediency, that's why they indicted her on the charges that spanned over so much time. That seems kind of boilerplate, though.
Are you on mute?
That was the allegation of multiple offenses not committed on the same occasion.
Right.
Somebody says, Brad, talk tech to me. I guess you have a fan here.
Well, if I ever stream again, then I will talk all the tech to you. I will whisper sweet nothings about bytes and bits.
Oh, bits. Oh.
DDR5.
What kind of bits?
Yeah.
Does anyone think Omar's answering the question right now? And
I hope he is.
I don't.
He's better off typing it.
He's going to be like, God damn it.
Kids, get away from the...
Was I really muted?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What? You do this every time. I was joking and you actually, oh my God.
You're not still driving.
Answer the question again, please.
Whatever, man. What even was the question? I forgot.
Oh my
what
God! You just went on a long rant, didn't you? And you don't even remember what the question was.
No,
I think the bigger question was about
what was the question.
The bigger question was about the attorney privilege.
Yeah, the fraud crime exception of attorney privilege.
Oh, so you're privileged to the extent that you are going to commit crimes. But what are we talking about here?
So there's a person listed in the witness list called David Gingrich, and some people are thinking that it might be David Gingras, but according to him, there's multiple people that have either the same or similar names, and it's actually became an issue in the previous because they got sued, but then like he got the notice or something.
So is this in reference to a discovery request? Mm-hmm. Communications with Gingras? In trying to figure out who the supposed accomplice is in one of the next documents, would David Gingras this is so far. If you're talking about attorney-client privilege, like you are privileged when you speak to your attorney until you tell them that you're going to commit a crime, or if you admit that you committed a crime in an ongoing litigation, which is why attorneys tell you, if you did something wrong, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know about it. And so if she had communications with her attorney, any of them, or Gingras, and admitted
to some kind of fraudulent scheme or committing some kind of a crime, that's not privileged anymore.
And he's responsible for saying something about that or walking away, right?
Or he's suborning perjury, yeah, and he could lose his license for that's another reason why he could lose his license.
So let me let's say your client is a daughter and the mother tells you that, right? That's unprivileged because there's 3 people, right?
Yeah, but if I ask my client about it and she denies it, it's still privileged.
Okay.
So
like I don't have a privilege to mom. Like I could hear people tell me that my client committed crimes, but if my client doesn't admit to it, then
But you can see that gray area where maybe a lawyer would utilize that relationship.
For sure, but good luck getting those communications because
they're
going to be up and down privileged. Yeah, I mean, just they'd have to get a court order somehow demanding those communications, and then they'd have to have like a secret hearing outside of public view to review the communications, and only certain communications would be allowed that effectively. It would have to be like some kind of in-camera meeting with the judge where they're reviewing communication saying that's out, that's out, that's out. This is in because it's her admitting to a crime. It'd be like this weird procedural thing that they'd have to do in criminal court.
Right.
Becca has thoughts as like admitting to using her sister's ultrasound. I think with his sister's ultrasound, he didn't I guess he could say that he didn't technically say she admitted that to me, that she did that on purpose. She spins things in a way that it's not necessarily logical to the rest of us who know exactly what happened. But they could say she spun it in some way, like, oh no, he got that and he mistook it for this or that, and like he can say like, I understood it to mean this, not necessarily that she admitted.
And she already, she already admitted to it, so that would probably be privileged because they're discussing something already on the record.
Okay.
Unless it's part of some fraudulent scheme that exceeds the scope of what she admitted to. It's messy, but that's in essence what it is.
We had someone here, TechFall15, thank you for the $5, just finished a bulk jerky prep. What did I miss? You missed whatever Omar was saying on mute, which is what we all missed. Thank you.
I was literally just asking Brad to clarify. I didn't understand what he was asking me.
How many times did you ask while we were talking over you before you realized?
I just thought that nobody gave a shit. It was like, you guys have something better to say. He's like, I'll just shut up.
I think
that's never the case.
Fundamentally, we're just asking what would have to happen for her attorney to be listed as a conspirator.
It would have to be something where he's suborning perjury. I mean, she's gone on and on about her innocence about the case to the extent that he had some insider knowledge that she admitted a crime to him or some fraudulent scheme. It'd have to be something like that, but that's really difficult to get.
It seems very unlikely to me.
David Gingrich is a physician assistant in Chandler, AZ.
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's a real thing. Family
they're
and
not
Industrial Medical
me?
Center. What's that?
They're not talking about the David Gingras. They're talking about.
I guess not. I really thought that they were, but I guess
we're unfolding to a different topic. So in the state's witness list, there was a David Gingrich.
Okay.
Gingrich.
You thought it was a typo,
and we all thought it was a typo. Then they released an updated version which had a different address, which was not
logical.
A gingerbread address, I'll say.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, this must be someone different, I guess. And now we maybe have confirmation that.
But the interesting thing is, David Gingras has ties to Chandler, Arizona.
He says that he doesn't, or he tweeted yesterday that he doesn't.
That's not true.
I believe what you're saying,
Lauren. 2 nights ago, what did you tell me?
That's not true.
Lauren, what did you tell me 2 nights ago? If Gingras says it, you don't give it any weight. You just told me this like last night or 2 nights ago.
Well, no, but I was pointing out that he, likes to say the things that are not necessarily true.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, but that was like yesterday, wasn't it, Bruce?
I think
it was
know.
Yesterday.
What is time? I don't know what time is anymore. I'm in a van. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I digress.
So they are.
I'm sending it to you on Discord, Lauren. I don't know that it's something you can show, but.
Oh yeah.
All right.
But Rob, this is the interesting point. Gingras is not a witness for the prosecution. but Woodnick is. So that's
and Bonnie
interesting.
Platter is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's various lawyers. Deandra.
Woodnick makes sense as a witness though, because he was accused of nefarious things by Laura Owens.
Correct. Yeah.
Most likely by this guy Andrew in New Jersey.
Interesting. Yes.
Schnitzel, have you heard of a Madeline Sobek? Bruce, you were talking about that earlier.
No, and I haven't had time to look at anything up.
Okay.
Somebody in chat.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat said they were related to they were an attorney for a medical facility, right?
Yeah. I can't remember which one it was.
One medical or one something?
Might be. Yeah, I was just trying to look it up, but I can't remember how to spell her last name. I think it was One Medical.
Mm-hmm.
One Medical. Yes. She's Cat Lady, stop shouting at us. Oh my God. But thank you.
Yeah. We
No
need
offense,
Cat
but
Lady to
Chandler
be
is
private
like
cat.
Brad, you should be on there because you're a good cell phone examiner and metadata guy.
I was kind of disappointed that I wasn't on there, and then I was like, "Oh wait!" And then I don't actually have to fly out there to be a witness. So
I wrote it in
good.
on my
That's
copy.
right.
Just, you know, I wrote your name in.
I was glad not to be on there. Heck no, don't want to be on there.
You don't want to fly out just to hang out with us, Brad?
I'm planning on it, but to be there of my own volition versus a summons would be a lot better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
we can relax in the tech van.
I would never be a witness unless David had a trial, I guess. So
Me and Bruce got to hold the van while Dave Neal is up on stand.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, no holding up signs or anything, guys. Got to be respectful. And if I remember correctly, it's going to be in the 12th floor at the Central Tower building, downtown Phoenix, just like the previous comprehensive is going to be there too. So that's right across the street in the same block of the other courthouse downtown, not the Northeast that we all went to on June 10th.
Kimbo says, "Is there a prosecution witness sign-up sheet?"
Right?
Fucking should be, yeah.
Well, they can revise this again, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can
who
always.
knows? Yeah.
All right. Well, we're talking now about the aggravating circumstances. Rob, do you want to read the page for me?
Sure. The state of Arizona by and through undersigned counsel pursuant to ARS 13701 alleges that the following aggravating circumstances exist in this case. If the state determines additional aggravating circumstances apply, the state will file a subsequent allegation of aggravating circumstances. The offenses involve the presence of an accomplice, ARS 13701D4. The defendant committed the offenses as consideration for the receipt or in the expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The offenses cause physical, emotional, or financial harm to the victim, or if the victim died as a result of the conduct of the defendant, caused emotional or financial harm to the victim's immediate family. The defendant testified or will testify falsely at trial or another court proceeding, and then they state several cases. And then the next one is there is evidence of prior acts of the defendant for which the defendant was not convicted. I know. All these are so applicable. It blows my mind. The defendant has past bad conduct, even though that conduct may not have been or did not result in a conviction. Sightings. And then there is a need to protect future victims from the defendant. State versus McCune 167, 1991. That one's important to me because I've been trying to figure out how to change the Constitution in Arizona because victims' rights doesn't really. It's very gray. So I like that one because now I have a case I can look at and pull some information from. Not that I'm going to pull it off, but you never know, right? And finally, if the jury convicts the defendant of multiple felony counts or the defendant has felony convictions that are not within 10 years immediately preceding the date of the offense, the state alleges these multiple convictions as an aggravating circumstance. Submitted to the 25th of June by Rachel and Edward. And Edward's still the one prosecuting this, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Later.
All right. I didn't understand, didn't understand a lot of this. Never seen anything like this before. So
they're basically treating her as being a multiple offender without ever having been convicted. So if she gets sentenced, they're going to list these aggravating factors arguing for a harsher sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So my understanding is each of these felony indictments has a potential sentencing amount of prison time.
Yeah.
And then if it's aggravated, you add more. If it's mitigated, you take some off. So there's a range. What they're doing here is they're saying, we think there are aggravating factors which would increase the amount of potential prison time.
And they're listing them all.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
And they're
all applicable, right? They're all applicable. We can tell.
Yeah.
Right. They've been to, I'm trying to remember where all, New Jersey, Florida, New York, California, Arizona, and soon to be Washington State to interview people. Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
I can't say who it is, but
yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so they are leaving no stone unturned.
I would assume Florida.
They got her pretty effing dead rights, man. I don't know if they're going to agree to no jail plea based on these aggravating factors.
Especially
they
now.
better not. Jail is the only thing that is going to stop this behavior. It's like so ingrained in her, and her parents have enabled it for so long. Go to fucking jail. That's what you deserve.
It's to her advantage, right? To help stop her from continuing this.
Well, the fucking psych hospital isn't going to do it. They're going to go in there and talk about her feelings for a few days, kick her out, and then she'll stop doing treatment? Absolutely not.
Right.
So
I just pray she never walked into one of your sessions. You know what I mean, Lauren?
I don't do sessions, brother. I just
thank God. Right? You'd be like, you know what, lady?
There's a reason. There's a reason I decided not to be a psychologist or a therapist like everyone else in my family. So
well, you have to do evaluations. Is that right?
Yeah, just the evals. I'm the tape and glue guy. That's about it. I can be very empathetic for a couple of hours, and then I got to go home. So, all right. Ichimosis severe vocal fry is an aggravating factor. I think that's exactly what they had in mind.
So Schnitzel, nothing from Iceland, right?
Oh boy.
Not that I know of.
And without saying the name, is Napkin Lady on the witness list?
Oh boy.
She is not that I know of.
Okay. Just asking.
But it's someone in conjunction with that victim.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I assume Florida is because of this horse business.
That's my understanding, but you know, I'm not in touch with any of the investigators specifically, so I can't say exactly for sure.
Right.
It's gotta be like probably down in Ocala, right? I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that, but
we need a horse whisperer who then talks to a horse, talks to another horse to tell us what's going on, right?
Yeah, Rob, that's what we need.
What I will say is someone was being interviewed and asked what other victims they talked to, and they said who, and then the response was, "Is that all?"
Oh God.
Oh my God. The gap between those two, I'm wondering how long it was. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only Florida address on that witness list is Medchill.
Well,
God, we don't need Dr. Medchill. We already have enough quacks down here.
I don't know that everyone they are questioning is going to actually be brought in as a witness, but that doesn't mean they didn't talk to people. You know what I mean?
I actually don't see how Dr. Medchill would really be pertinent, to be honest, because I mean, he just gave like a very vague and distant medical opinion in the family court trial. It's like kind of like I don't know if he knows of any real crimes.
So in order to prove the perjury, you've got to validate the report that he cited using the information that was given to him, and then they're going
to want a better expert than Medchill. He's not going to cut it.
It's not about expertise. It's about digital forensics and following the chain of information transfer.
You wrote this report in April of 2024, correct? And you received this documentation from her attorney, correct? Yes. And you wrote this report using your expertise and knowledge of being a supposed OBGYN for decades upon time. Yes.
How many babies did you actually deliver, sir?
6.
Well, we'll just put it this way. Like, if this ever goes to trial, which I don't think it will, but let's just say it did, the same standard applies. All she has to do is form a reasonable basis that she reasonably and authentically believed that she was pregnant beyond a reasonable doubt. She will be acquitted of the perjury charges.
Good luck with
That's all she
that,
has to do.
dude. Good luck with
MedPill
that.
is
You
not
don't
the
alter
expert
your
to
fucking
do.
HCG levels and make your sister's ultrasound your own and pay Fiverr to make an ultrasound from some random fucking lady your own if you think you're actually pregnant. Good luck with that.
I mean, I'm not saying it's possible to do. I'm just saying that's
obviously
literally all
on
she
her
has to
side.
do.
Wait, Omar, let's say
Yeah.
she believed in her heart of hearts that she was pregnant. Okay,
Sure.
fine, right? If
Right.
she went to the injunction against harassment hearing and said one thing under oath, and then went on June 10th and said a completely different thing under oath or in a deposition that is a contradiction for gain, isn't that what we're looking for here?
And doesn't it
well, it's not going to
the
quit her
crime?
of all the charges. Yeah, if she genuinely believed in her heart of hearts, it's not going to quit her of every single crime. It's not. Like it might have an effect on some of the crimes, but she's certainly guilty. I mean, she's charged with 7 different things. If you believe that she fraudulently perpetrated a false pregnancy for some kind of a gain, then her genuine belief would go a long way towards opposing that crime. I keep on wanting to say cause of action. That criminal counts.
Right.
So the standard is saying it's easier in criminal court, but she has to get there somehow. It's not going to happen with MedChill. There's too much evidence to the contrary, and she contradicted herself too many times.
She's not off the hook. She's not off the hook over everything.
One thing to note: this witness list is only from the prosecution. We don't have a defense witness list.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
We may or may not get one. That's what Bruce was suggesting.
Well, yeah, they don't have to put on a case.
We don't
at
know
all.
yet. Yeah, they don't have to. The burden of proof is on the state. But
Right.
yeah, that Brett's point is right. This is the prosecution. So why would the prosecution care about MedChill? For tracing the communications and showing the jury, yes, Laura and her lawyers told Dr. MedChill these things.
I'm pretty sure they care about him because he delivered 5 million babies last year.
Yeah,
right.
It's totally for his expertise.
At his retirement party.
The real Carson thinking of the 5. If she believed she was pregnant, she would have sought care in person. I agree.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't need to rant. I don't need to rant about all the things I ranted about last night, but I just don't. There's too many things that point to you actually did not believe you were pregnant at all. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done this. So.
Right.
Well, Bruce is right. They're going to be asking him about her communications with him related to her representations of pregnancy. That's what they're going after if they're calling him at all.
And they really only need her as a witness. I mean, that's pretty much, she'll tell the story and we'll all believe it.
They need who as a witness?
Laura. Yeah.
Rob's defense strategy is to not have any witnesses and just put Laura on the stand for a couple hours and see what happens.
That's a terrible idea, Rob.
That's Rob's defense strategy here.
To sabotage the defense.
But there's so much that they're going to bring up to show how even if she believed she was pregnant, the action she did not take, right? Being a high-risk pregnancy, diabetic, mental illness, autism, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they're going to build all this stuff up. It's going to be very hard for the jury to really believe that she genuinely believed she was pregnant and then lost the children, you know, as with no proof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's going to be a very challenge, but I think that they're going to get there real easy, to be honest.
All I know is this: looking at the evidence unfettered, you know, without any limitations on admissibility, examining the entire record, all of us have yet to see a single shred of evidence, absent the fake HCG test, that she ever was actually pregnant.
Oh, well, I bought that, so I don't know about you guys, but I totally
Well,
bought
I
it.
mean, she had real HCG tests.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it wasn't injectable or she didn't have some, whatever that other condition was, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
And what
why
they found
was she testing positive for HCG? There's a litany of potential reasons.
Because what the expert for the prosecution is going to get up there and say is that, yeah, HCG is an indicator of pregnancy. It's not the way that you diagnose pregnancy. There's usually a follow-up ultrasound, and then that's going to resonate with the jury if the general public's reaction to that evidence is any indication.
Well, what would you know? You only have 3 kids, so.
I know.
Oh, geez.
But they're going to pull a Gingras, and they're going to say, well, is it possible that a woman can become pregnant, never get a pregnancy test, never go to an OBGYN, and still pop out a baby 9 months later? Sure.
From a blowjob and a stain on her back? No.
Well,
Didn't Mitchell say that, Brad?
No.
He's like, I know women that didn't go through all that, right? And still have a baby at the end. I believe Mitchell said that.
I mean, I think if you're trying to prove she didn't really believe she was pregnant, you'd have to go to something like the lack of the, like, sure, someone could go have a feral pregnancy, but
It's like Alexi Treviso.
But she filed a paternity case. She went to the Sun. She did all these things. That's not what you do when you just want to go away and have a feral pregnancy.
There's plenty of examples of teenagers that carry full-term pregnancies without telling anybody, never going to the doctors, never getting treatment.
Teenagers.
Exactly. Not 35-year-old women, though, you know?
No, not 35-year-old women who live right there with their parents, but also somehow you're using your sister's ultrasound and baby photos, even though you're totally 9 months pregnant or something.
And you've been through it before several times.
And if her mother also thought she was legitimately pregnant with a double high-risk twin pregnancy, why didn't she convince her to do any of these curative actions for her pregnancy in terms of healthcare? It doesn't make any sense.
And due to all their lack of action, maybe they can bring new charges that she didn't care enough for her children.
I gotta pee. I'll be
right.
And
I mean,
unalive them, but think about
it. If you take her at face value that, I got pregnant by the Bachelor with twins, it's a double high-risk pregnancy. All I did was some HCG tests and maybe, went to Planned Parenthood once, possibly, but we don't even know where. It's like criminally negligent. And then later I miscarried. Like, well, of course, because you never sought care. That's negligence. Her whole case, if you believe her, is underpinned with criminal negligence, in my opinion.
Which is why these documents leave it open-doored, right? They're going to find out more as things go on, and then going to realize, there is more that we can charge her with because of her actions, not because we want to, just because she did do these things or didn't do these things.
And the funny thing is even if she can't claim indigent circumstances for why she didn't go get OBG and ultrasound scans, because the amount that she's paid in lawyer fees, even up until June 10th, is significantly more than what may be $1,000 to get an ultrasound scan.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
It'll be so interesting to see what they found during the raid.
Oh yeah, if we get to see what that physical
the physical evidence,
physical inventory that they took, that'll be thing. But we're not going to see that until after the trial, because they're going to have the list of exhibits that they want to bring in, and then we'll get the record of what was actually admitted.
Yeah. That's on Schnitzel to get that information, right, Schnitzel?
Dude.
I'm just throwing it out.
I've been waiting on all these people, pestering them.
Yeah.
Hello, could I check the status on blah, blah, blah?
You have it memorized in the back of your head, I know.
Oh my God, I do. All the numbers too.
Yeah. Jesus. But the July 11th will be interesting, I guess, because it's what's that one? The pretrial again? Pretrial conference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then,
I can
yeah.
confirm, I have confirmed with the courthouse that is not in person.
That is, oh, really? She does not have to attend it? Just her lawyer?
Correct. And no
No.
one is going to pretend. No, I called the courthouse, and I know someone else who called the courthouse to ask, and
Good.
they said that July 11th is on the phone. It's not in person, but August 11th is in person.
Okay.
But the
so
document
nice
they
that
just
they got it.
filed said she has to be there to submit fingerprints.
But it might be the next time they're in person, not necessarily the next
Oh,
Yeah.
hearing.
okay.
Did it say July or August, or did it just say future?
The
Yeah.
next court appearance. So it could be anyone that's mandatory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible they changed something, but this was just within the last week that it was asked.
Right.
Well, I'm still going to go July 11th, even if it's just hang out,
Yeah.
because they had soda machines and potato chips. So, I'll make a day of it. I don't care.
What?
But I'm not going to take a chance where somebody's not in attendance. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's important to attend each of these, especially, that's another thing I wanted to mention is that Bianca, she's been covering this for a long time now, but I met another news reporter who was there at the arraignment, and his name is Sean Rice. He works for 12 News too. So I met with him and her, and basically he's a colleague of hers at Channel 12 News. And I think like if one goes on vacation, the other covers for the other. So I was like, okay, let's be nice to him too, right? Because he, that's good to know reporters. So, but I've been watching some of his video streams, and I thought maybe he's going to cover the July 11th or the August one, right? If she's not in town or something. So, just so there's at least two reporters, if that are kind of involved, which is good to know, in following the case, because here in Arizona, a lot of people are aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're local here, and it's Scottsdale of all places. So
There's also Jimmy Jenkins too.
Right.
Yeah.
Easy Central.
Yeah.
And there've been so many TV news, the nightly news reports now, making more local awareness.
Once it
and
got
the newspaper.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, if this goes to trial, I would imagine TMZ is going to bring a small team.
We'll have, I think we'll have several. I think there'll be several represented for trial in October if it goes there, but I do believe it will, because
not in October, maybe. I think it's probably going to get pushed.
Oh, that
too. It's going to get pushed.
Good point. But it can't be before. It'll have to be before or after March 2026. We already have that month covered for another court case.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to these people.
You can't back to back these,
What's March 2026?
Justin's trial.
Oh.
With Blake. I don't know what I would have to do if I had to choose between those. I have no idea what I would do.
Oh, really? 5-hour drive. You could do both.
I would certainly try, man. Don't tempt me. But
you stay here, you get up early, drive there, stay with Omar, get up early, come back here. So you have one day on, one day off.
Oh, that trial's in New York, buddy.
Oh, and that was tough, I'm sure, right?
Dude,
I mean, you look good, but you didn't look great.
What are we talking about right now?
What are we talking about right now? I have no idea.
How do we get to New York?
If Laura's trial gets delayed into 2026, they can't schedule it in March of 2026 because of Lively Baldoni.
And if they do, then Lauren can drive from Arizona and California back and forth.
Yeah, but it's from Arizona to New York, bro. It's Arizona to New York, so I'm going to pick one.
Oh,
I got to pick one.
Long.
Yeah.
They were doing it in New York? Oh, I thought
just do a red eye.
You're not allowed to sleep,
Every
Lauren.
Fucking day. I'm not doing that. Are you?
You're going to be fake streaming. That's what you're going to do.
No, and the thing is, there's no cameras allowed in Justin's case. But like,
it's a federal civil suit. So
if I have to pick one, I'm going to Justin's case.
Yeah.
You know what? If I was a defense attorney, I might consider exercising Lauren's right to a speedy trial. I feel like the prosecution is being awfully ambitious with these charges.
Did you say Lauren? Did you say Lauren?
He did.
I might have said Lauren. I meant Laura. Laura.
You're a little bitch.
You bitch. You bitch.
That's
like
not the first time he's
Bradbury.
done that.
Hi, Bradbury.
No, it's not.
Do you really think that would be beneficial? I mean,
if they're going, they got her dead rights. They're going for these conspiracy charges. They're hard to prove in civil court. They're hard to prove in criminal court. And so I might just put the pressure on the DA and see if we could force them into a favorable plea deal. That's the one card the defense holds that the prosecution can't control, the right to speedy trial. And so even if you're bluffing, it might be worth it to, let's move the trial up. You know what? 60 days from time of arraignment, I want the trial in fucking July.
Yeah. Plus it stops them from figuring out more stuff, right? Because investigation's continuing.
Oh yeah,
right?
because they're trying to prep for trial. And like this, when the prosecution has an ambitious case, one of the considerations is, should we just force them into an early trial?
Right. Well, Bruce told me Josh is internationally on international vacation right now, and so I was sure that Laura would implode like she did when David. You told me yesterday, right? Or no, it wasn't you. It was someone else. Never mind. Josh is on international vacation right now. Her lawyer, and so I was like, well, last time David was on international vacation right after her trial, she freaked out and started posting on Medium again. So I'm like waiting for that to happen, and then maybe
no, she's not going to post on Medium.
I'm leaving for Europe.
Well, I didn't think she was going to do that right after the trial either. And then she threatened the judge and she threatened the county attorney. So I don't know. She does shit, you know? Yeah. I don't put anything past her, but
I think she's just going to troll with random accounts.
So I did verify Medium is down.
Medium, yeah.
Medium is still down.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, no, I feel like I don't know if speeding things up would be great because I feel like she's going to make a mistake between now and then.
Well, it's too late now.
I just feel like she's going to make a mistake.
She already waived her right to speedy trial. So, but the point being, maybe it wouldn't be in her best interest to push it past October.
Omar, I have a question.
Did you got a question, Schnitzel? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So I was going to ask Omar.
That was the question.
Yeah. Was that
shut up, everybody? I have a question.
Okay, thank you.
Next.
Wait, what was the
I'm going to ask it now. Try to.
All right.
In this case, with the dates that have been set, and she already waived her right to a speedy trial, blah blah blah, all the stuff we already know. In a case like this, when would you expect a plea deal to be offered? I know they can be taken at any time, but what's the earliest it would be offered? And based on that, like, what do you think has already been presented to her by her counsel? And do you think she has turned anything down? Do you think she's still trying to fight for the trial? What do you think about all that?
She'll probably get her first offer at the first pretrial in July.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is the offer will be to plead to one of the felony counts, probably 3 years state prison or something. I mean, but I don't know. There's a lot of aggravated factors. I don't know.
I'm going to be there for that because that's when Zach's show is that weekend.
I'm just assuming that it's going to be somewhere between 2 to 4 years. The offer they're going to present it to her. They're not going to obviously sign up for that, but that'll be the first offer presented. And then there's going to be another pretrial scheduled for August and another one for September. There's probably trial readiness in between. So, I mean, they can negotiate and plead it, like you said, at any time. But the first offer, I don't think that's coming until the first pretrial.
I'm tired.
And do you think that Josh or whoever is representing her there, do you think that they're prepping her for what those potential offers could be and why they're beneficial rather than going to trial?
If it were me, I would already have been on the phone with the DA to gauge what the offer is going to be, and try to float some ideas about offers myself, and I'd probably have already gone over what the potential offers are going to be and what I'm going for. And if they agree to this, you're taking it no matter what. It's not going to get any better. There would be ranges, One
of the things help them for lunch, basically.
Well, I want to take her to lunch. She'd be in my office though, or maybe over Zoom.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side. You never know.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying that there's definitely been discussions about what would be the kind of plea deal that she would accept. There may not have already been overtures to the prosecutor's office.
The one where the man agrees to the dating contract is the only one she's going to accept. So.
Damn it, Lauren. You made me forget what I was going to say.
That's my goal.
So at the 7-11 trial date, there could be discussions to say we are in current negotiations for a possible plea deal, and
they're not going to say that though. They won't say. Well, they're not going to tell the judge that. They don't need to say that on the record. They're just going to set another pretrial date. The judge knows that they're negotiating.
Right, they'll postpone it. Well, can I ask you this? Why is the a lady lawyer still listed on in the court criminal website instead of this Josh guy?
Who's the lady lawyer?
The fill-in for the arraignment hearing.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like who's the attorney of record? Is she listed as attorney of record or just the person that appeared?
Sandra Schutz.
Sandra Schitz?
Yeah.
Sandra Schitz? Is that what you just said?
Schultz or something, right?
Schutz.
Schultz. It's something a little different. She's German.
Okay, well that's obviously not
in German you would say it Schutz.
There we go.
Good Lord.
So she's listed when you look up the attorneys of like on the website, right? That's what I'm looking at. So
attorney of record,
the guy, and I assume she works for that same law firm, and he's the one who's done the review, right? On the news.
It might just be a clerical error. It's honestly not that uncommon where they misname the attorney of record. Yeah.
Well, but she's also listed on this not this disclosure request as well.
Yeah, maybe she's the actual attorney of record, just not the one that's going to be the trial attorney. That happens too.
Because they're in the same law firm, whatever.
And sometimes two lawyers will work on the same case, right?
Yeah, like when I used to be an associate, I was never the attorney of record. It was always my like the main attorney at my firm. And I was
it's like Isabel and Woodnick.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. So, what are you wearing?
What the fuck?
Awkward silence.
I already showed you my tits earlier. What's your problem?
Did we see all the documents, Lauren?
We did, yeah.
All four?
Yep.
Did we see the
what
was it? The conspirator.
Yeah, that was this one. But we didn't really get into discussing that.
Yeah,
we just read it and didn't discuss it.
Okay.
The offenses involved with the presence of an accomplice. And
it was just a bullet point in this list. Yeah, that's right.
The first one, I think.
Bastards.
I'm trying to get oh my Lord.
Hi.
Sorry. I'm not used to having this many people in here, so it's like messing up my here, we'll just do that. How about that? We'll just do that. It was a bullet point. Which one was it?
The first one.
The first one.
One page up.
I need to move up. Okay. 1 sec. There you go.
Is the consensus? I mean, I have my assumptions as to who it is for lots of reasons.
Jan.
Yeah. Is that the general consensus?
Either John, meaning Jan and Ron, and not Ron by himself, but I'd say Jan, yes.
Well, but Omar,
it just makes perfect sense when I think about it.
Yeah. If you saw, sorry, I'm not on my typical device, so it might be delayed. I don't mean to cut anyone off most of the time. So if there was more than one accomplice, would this say accomplices, or does it not get that nitpicky or specific, Omar?
Muted, Omar.
Muted.
Everybody fucking knows too.
We can never get a question into this guy.
Missy says,
I swear it's not me.
He's just not answering.
What do you mean you swear it's not you? Who the fuck else is it? I know
They
your
keep on
wife's not
going
over
in and
there
out. I
fucking
don't know.
your
You
shit
guys keep going blank. But to answer the question, they would leave it ambiguous. They would say accomplice with the S on the end and a parentheses.
Then.
But they only have they say involve the presence of an accomplice.
I mean, it's not a pleading. It doesn't hold them to only one. There could be multiple.
Everything is final.
Oh, accomplice versus accompli. That's Latin. And so you need to catch up on your Latin.
Missy said, but honestly, do you actually think she'll serve time? First time offender and all? I think Omar said, I do.
That's a part of this.
Yeah, I also do, because she may not have been convicted before, but she's obviously committed so many fucking crimes.
Right.
And they're just finding more and more.
Yeah,
Right.
the scheme plan, pre-planning.
Yeah.
Yep.
This wasn't like a snap moment of misjudgment or whatever, that she did something she shouldn't have. She wasn't just emotional because a boyfriend was breaking up with her, and so she faked a pregnancy, which, still a bad thing to do, but a heat of the moment thing. No, this was premeditated over like 10 years and 5 different guys or something like that. And she's been committing, weird fraud or like suing people for random ass shit that's not necessarily true left and right for a long time. So yes, I think she will serve jail time. Everybody else is what's the consensus? I know Omar's says yes. So
when he's not muted.
I'm not muted.
Yep. So
I think if they manage to flip Jan and give her immunity, then Laura takes the plea deal.
Oh, Jan ain't flipping, baby. It's not going to happen. That is not flipping. No,
this is very Hollywood.
The judge is getting a candy bar. That's all I know.
You have to know that the county attorney is going to try and do everything they can. They could say, we have these documents that show that you helped Laura do all of these things, and we can give you immunity, but you're going to testify for us about all of it.
She can tell her to kiss my ass.
It doesn't matter. Jan
do what you got to do.
Jan clearly lives through Laura. Jan gets her glory through Laura's weird traumas that she manufactures. It's not going to happen.
Laura's old. She needs something new, right?
Look, from a prosecutor standpoint,
Omar.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. If you're right, and about Brad's theory is not right or whatever. If you're right, and Jan is the accomplice, what are the repercussions for her then?
I just don't think they're going after. They don't give a shit about Jan. Like, they could pressure her, they could try to bully her, whatever, but ultimately they need a cooperative witness. And so that could backfire. That's her daughter. And, she's all in at this point. And so she's not flipping on her daughter now. They can't depend on her at trial to do it later. So they can threaten her with stuff. And if they really want to, they could maybe charge her with things. But it's like any other case. You have a witness that doesn't want to cooperate. They ain't gonna.
Well,
and you still have the burden of proof. And if you risk having an uncooperative witness that can make your case look bad, it's you got to take that into consideration. Is all I'm saying.
Well, with Jan,
so they're going to be they're going to be real delicate with Jan. You can't just bully her into cooperation.
I can't
but you can sell her on, look, we're going to get your daughter help that she needs. Yeah. You know it. We know it. So if you help us, we can help her. That kind of thing. They could kind of go with that angle too, possibly.
That shit's not going to matter, man, because like their family obviously knows what she's been doing, and they're very invested in this we're victims narrative, and we didn't do what we're being accused of narrative. And so like if they cared at all about, like telling the truth and getting to the bottom of that and like kind of letting it all go and letting people know like, hey, like this wasn't right, but we're just gonna, do the best we can moving forward, then they would have done that in the last 10 years at some point. But no, they picked up their bags, they moved from San Francisco to Scottsdale, and they started that shit all over again. And they just let her keep going and going and going. So they know they're too implicated in this at this point for their family not to come out of it looking terrible. So I really believe that they will defend this to the bitter end, like until they can't anymore. So I don't think that Jan is going to flip.
No. You have underage children and the parents don't take care of them. What's that called, Brad? What's it called when the parents don't take care of their kids, underage kids?
They're underage kids? Just
negligence?
Negligence. Can that be used against Jan and Ron, even though she's an adult?
Laura's a grown-up.
5-year-old.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah.
Damn.
Fake Laura Owens. Fake Laura Owens, thank you for the $5. Nice meeting you the other night, Omar. Did I leave my hair tie in the hotel room?
Laura Owens, I don't think that she's a hair tie kind of girl,
Ah!
How do you know that?
Yes, but not hair tie. Gotcha.
Good Lord.
You can't be writing stuff like that. Omar's going to get in trouble.
That's some family law after dark right there. Oh, my.
There you go.
I met this guy named Bomar as a hidden name.
Good God. All right, guys. I got to get to bed because I have a 6-hour drive in the morning. So,
where are you going?
Sanibel Island. You want to come?
Ooh, yes, I do.
On the vacation, I mean.
Both.
Okay, good.
Both
Okay.
now and then.
Sanibel.
All right.
I had
Well,
a
you guys
relative
can
with a house
meet me
there.
there then. Oh, do you really? Okay, cool.
I did. I don't know if they have it now, but I mean, hurricanes have done things over the years.
It's been pretty bad. I hear it's a lot different than it was the last time I was there. My family has every summer, because my grandparents got this a long time ago, this like vacation rental every summer. So they have it every week and like, or a week every summer. And so like, I thought, nobody's going this year, so I'll go and just like be there by myself and like chill out.
Well, I'm going to be there too, but.
Well, you were invited, so that's fine. I don't believe that you'll show up because you are a weird breaded snack, and I don't know how you're going to get to the airport. So, yeah, but
will it be like the bus? We're not as nice.
She's clearly wearing sneakers. I mean,
yeah, but you have to take those off to go through TSA, and she can't do that because she has no feet.
Pre-check.
But she has little legs. What are those? Breadsticks? I don't know what those are.
They're hot. Okay. All right, I gotta go, guys. Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for going over the. Y'all are awesome. Take care.
Love you guys. Have a good